I'm in the right one today. Yesterday, I opened the meeting up. I sat there and 10:30 came and then it went. I'm like, where is everyone? Took me about 5 minutes to realise I was in my personal meeting room and everyone else was in this meeting room.
But everyone else could see Claire is in another meeting. You were like, okay.
Could mean
Because
that
you
you
said like the host is in another meeting or something like that. I was like,
Wait
okay.
for you lot.
Yeah.
What a numpty. All right then, my loves. I know Kirsten can't make it. I am expecting Jill. I am expecting Soph. I think I'm expecting Toby, but we'll see. I'll just let people in as and when they show up. So, how is everyone doing? Here's Jill. I'm going to pick on people. Give me.
What's new?
I know, right? At least you know what to expect.
Do you want to record, Claire?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Record. There we go. Just in case Fathom goes tits up. Right then, my loves. So, who would like to be the first to share some shifts from yesterday and yesterday's homework?
I'll go.
Go.
I think I'm more constantly now thinking of what I'm calling myself made it me.
Ah, okay.
So, because I made it. And I was just thinking what should be or should do. So, for example, today, after I finished my morning thing, I was going to walk the dogs and it was about 9 o'clock. That's usually the time when my brain tells me I should be in front of the laptop. But then I was like, okay, made that me already has the money, already has the fame. I can walk the dogs at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it was a much nicer walk than me thinking. Sorry?
The dogs are like, thank God.
It was just a much nicer walk than me thinking I shouldn't be here. I should have done this before. I should have woken up earlier. Therefore, things would have
a little less. I'm hearing a little less beating yourself up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. Excellent. Thank you. Who else would like to have? So, who else would like to share some shifts from yesterday and yesterday's homework?
I was very conscious yesterday of the old Jill thing and where I might dip out of things. And I can't say I got everything done yesterday, but I did go, oh, here we go again a few times and made it conch. Yeah, I then chose a couple of times where I think, I need something to eat. Well, I didn't actually need something to eat. It's just trying to escape somewhere. So I did make some choices. I'm just having that awareness. There's a bit of frustration going through it as well, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So moving it from the unconscious, I'm just going to follow this old pattern into the. I know what I'm doing. I'm on to me.
That's it. I know. Here I go again. I don't. Yeah. So a bit of that going on, which is noticing those points where I normally go into, oh, that ain't gonna happen, kind of thing. This is never gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So perhaps changing it slightly to, oh, what if this did happen?
What if it did happen?
If I could do it.
What if I did? Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Jill. Let's have one more. Bridget, you're unmuted. I'm going to pick on you.
Well, I wasn't there yesterday, so
Sorry,
I saw
you weren't here.
Yeah, exactly. I saw the video late last afternoon, and I downloaded the homework and I started it, and I was like, okay, I can deal with this all by myself. And this morning I've already tapped 4 times.
Have you? Excellent.
So I've been up early, and it was 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. So 11:30, I'm sitting here now, our time. And I'm like, yeah, I can live with this. I choose to break the pattern. I became aware, and every time I thought, No, focus, and
Yeah, amazing.
so
Awesome stuff. Thank you.
excited
Great.
about what's today.
Yeah. Awesome. Great shares. Thank you very much. So we are on day 4 already. Wished path. So during today, we're going to be looking at dissolving blame and resentment. And then we're going to shift identity to our core values. So I'm going to pre-warn you, some of these questions might cause some brain aching. I know, you're welcome. Everyone stay where they are. There'll be no running off to get food or drink or go to the toilet or anything like that. So before we get started, as always, let's set the intention for the session. So closing your eyes, taking a breath. And just repeating to yourself after me, I intend to release any blame and resentment towards others and myself around this not good enough belief. And I choose to effortlessly link it to my core values. Beautiful. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, my lovelies, opening your eyes. So we're going to kind of do 2 parts today. So I'm going to pre-warn you now, there's every chance this will be a Claire hour. If you need to bounce off at the 10:30, at the 11:30 mark, please do so. Don't feel like you have to stay just because I'm running over. There's going to be 2 parts. So we're going to start with part 1, which will be around the dissolving the blame and resentment. So pens and paper at the ready. Question number 1. Who do you blame or resent for making you feel not good enough? Put as many names as come up. Who do you blame or resent for making you feel not good enough? Because I can see everyone writing, I'm going to assume everyone is okay with this. However, if you struggle, the question to ask is, who might I blame or resent for this not good enough belief? Dredge the depths. Okay. I'm going to quick fire through these questions as much as possible so we get through stuff. Do feel free after the call to revisit the questions if you feel like you want to flesh them out a little bit more. So, second question. What specific traits, behaviors, or words that they use do I dislike about them? These are about the people who you resent or blame. What specific traits, behaviors, or language that they use do I dislike about them? Okay. Question 3. Where do I do something similar, even in a small way? So where do you display those traits, behaviors, What language do you use that is similar? Allow yourself to get curious about this one. It can be a little bit antagonistic. So for instance, to give an example, if you're not too sure, or it looks like everyone's writing, if your mum used food as a reward for doing well, and you blame or resent that because it's linked doing well to eating, where do you also use food as a reward to other people? Does that make sense? Cool. And the last question for this part is, how did this person's actions serve me? So, what strength did you develop because of what that person or those people did or said? If you hadn't had that experience, what would you have missed out on? How did it help you to become the person you are today that you appreciate? How do you use it to help others? Has it given you empathy that you may not have had otherwise? Give a few more seconds for this. That's only funny if you know it's from Countdown. Otherwise, I'm just a weirdo going. Who would like to be the first to share some stuff that they've written? You don't necessarily need to share who you blame, but I would very much like to know the specific traits or behaviors where you do something similar and how this person's actions served you.
So from question 2.
Mhm.
Okay.
If you want to tell me the answer to question 1, feel free, but you don't have to.
It's just family, ex, my brother, elders, mum, dad, cousins, and I put myself down as well.
Okay.
Specific traits, behaviors, words. They will hold my past self against me. They'll put boundaries on me. Ask me, how am I going to do that? You can't do that. Why would you do that? You're a weirdo. What about Rio? Wait till he's 18. You know, so many boundaries on me. I did not like answering this next question, where I might do something similar. But The first person that came to my head was Rio. And I do recognise that I do that to him. He told me he wanted to be a professional basketball player back in the day. And I was like, okay, that's nice to have a dream, but also what's your reality? And then I'm just like, what a bitch. You know? So it's just like, okay, I hear it. How do these people's actions serve me? So it's taught me that other people's opinions of me are not my business to know, nothing to do with me. Helps me to elevate out of their mindset, helps me to catch myself judging or belittling people's dreams, and makes me just realise I quite want to be the opposite to that mindset.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else would like to share? Jill, where have you gone? Come back.
It's a very late breakfast, sorry.
Okay.
I can survive an hour, so I'll put it away.
Who else would like to share?
I can go on.
Yes, go.
So yes, the blame, I think it's the same family for female bosses who and women in my network who didn't or refused to support me. The specific traits and behaviors is the condensing, the holier than thou attitude. So you can't reach us because you're still not fulfilling our expectations. And I think we the same also. Yeah, I do it also in my parenting.
Okay.
Where I catch myself and see also our son expectations, telling him you're supposed to see that, you're supposed to do that. Didn't you see the garbage standing there? All these things that I've also catch myself and thinking, yeah, I've heard that before. And yes, what did it make me? I've actually become an extremely skilled observer. That's what I always get back, is because I see my surroundings, I see the people. I do every Friday now, I present a strong woman in my network. And the feedback I'm getting is, wow, you really described me on point. So that's, of course, as a coach, a great help.
Yeah.
I deliver on point. So if you tell me you need something then and then, I will over deliver, and usually before. Because I just don't want to, oh yeah, you can't rely on her. So I'm extremely reliable. And of course, I've become extremely self-observant, catching myself in these situations.
Awesome. Great share. Thank you very much. So given what people are sharing and given what you have written down, why do you think I've asked these specific questions? What purpose is it serving? Feel free to unmute yourself and shout at me when you've got it. Jill.
Reinforcing the feelings that we've written down, I'm assuming.
Okay. Yeah, good answer. What else?
Yeah.
Are we flipping it on its head and taking the silver lining, basically, and why we've allowed and accepted these things for so long?
Okay, great answer. What else?
Acknowledging
avoiding eye contact with me.
Acknowledging a part of ourselves that we may have been covering up for a while as well.
Yeah, cool. All really good answers. Thank you. So the first thing is getting you to realize where you are allocating blame or resentment, bringing it to the forefront rather than letting it simmer in the background. Yeah. Getting clear about specifically what it was about them that caused you the resentment or blame. Then, like someone said, we are flipping it on its head. And you are starting to see where you do the same thing. Yeah, we're starting to, so the point of that is that blame, resentment, other people here. And then you're like, oh shit, I do that as well. and we're balancing it. Yeah. And then not only are we balancing it, so it becomes sort of more neutral and there's less charge around it, you are also seeing how actually there was good in this. It served you in some way, this person's actions. It's made you more observant. It's made you a better coach. It's made you, you know, more determined to be the highest level of you that you can be. I don't like saying that, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just starting to suggest to your mind that actually this doesn't need to be a ah and you down here. It's this. That was a technical term, by the way. Ah! Does that make sense to everyone? Jill, you're looking bamboozled at me. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm not getting enough emotion about this, or I've either missed the point, or I'll have to go over it again maybe, because I'm not identifying enough resentment in my life,
Okay.
there must be some, or I'm not. Because I wrote some down.
Perhaps less in terms of, I mean, think in terms of blame as well.
Okay. But I'm not getting I've not yet got the what's it made me better at or improve at. So that's
Okay.
where I'm seeing.
Yeah.
As the questions got maybe harder, I was a bit like,
Yeah. Okay. Where did your brain start to phase out?
where I do. So there's about 5, wasn't there? What specific behaviours or traits I most dislike? I didn't even get really into lots of lists for number 2.
That's okay.
So by the time I got to number 3, what do I do similar? A couple of things I noted. And how do the actions serve me?
Yeah. How did this person's actions serve you?
I'm not getting that.
Okay. So
yet.
Okay, so I would definitely revisit that after this. For the purposes of the tap, I'm going to dig a little bit into it now. What were some specific traits or behaviors or language that people have used that you didn't like? That made you feel not good enough?
Have you got any work?
Yeah.
What I put what you're charging, but that was only a one-off, I think. I've got a feeling that certain people feel maybe they look down.
Yeah, okay. So let's
disappoint, yeah.
Let's take that one. I get the feeling that they were looking down on me. So then you get curious, where do I look down on other people? This is an antagonistic question, deliberately so. Because we are not little angels floating around.
Yeah.
The stuff we dislike in other people, we do ourselves. And the reason we dislike it is because subconsciously we recognize that we do it too.
Okay.
So the question then is, where do I look down on other people? When do I start thinking about, oh, well, you know, how much work you got? But then when people look down on you, how did that serve you? Did it make you more determined to succeed? Did it strengthen your resolve? Did it make you want to learn more? How did it serve you?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. Because I think when you said the word made me want to learn more, so maybe that's interesting. I can link that to a pattern.
Yeah.
But because what I didn't hear was, it's made me more determined to go off and do it. So I'm a bit like, bloody hell. Okay.
Yeah.
Back on track again.
It's finding the way it served you in some way. Juliana, jump in.
No, it wasn't about that.
You're frozen at a key moment. We're waiting at the edge of our seats for what you have to say. Go, you're back.
Sorry. No, it was just on the first question when it was like, who do you blame? I felt resistance.
Yeah.
Because there are people that I think have done things but I also don't think they've done purposely.
Yeah.
And there is a part of me going, but I love them. And
Yeah.
I really should not blame them. Like,
Oh, there it is. There it is. I shouldn't blame them.
because I don't think they've done it like deliberately to hurt me. Or,
But what if there was a part of you that, even though you shouldn't blame them,
yeah,
because you know they didn't deliberately, what if there is a little stroppy part of you?
I know. Yeah, no, I did write down.
I don't feel so much better.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's gonna be
But
one.
it's funny because I was resistant. So
Yeah, it's
Oh my
interesting,
God.
isn't it? And well done for spotting it. Yeah, awesome. Okay. So when you're ready, closing your eyes. Taking a nice deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Breath in and hold. And let it go. And one more. Breath in and hold. And let it go. Beautiful. And just allowing your breathing to come easily, naturally, rhythmically, as you take just a moment to really feel the connection to whatever it is you're sitting on or against. Just becoming aware of where it connects with your body. Noticing how it just seems to rise up to support you. As you allow yourself to sink into that support, just a little bit more now. I'd like you to just notice who you blame. For the purposes of this tapping, pick one person. If that's really tricky, pick a specific group. Allow yourself to get curious as to why you blame or resent them, even though you probably know you shouldn't. Up until now, what was the negative impact you think they had? Oh, if they hadn't said this, I would be so much further along now. I would be more confident. I'd have more clients. Whatever it might be. And then allow yourself to recognize the thing that they did or do that you don't like. Recognize where you do it. So if people looked down on you, said you couldn't do stuff, where do you do that to others? And do this as non-judgmentally as possible. You are not wrong or bad or stupid. And then allow yourself a moment to recognize at a deeper level how that person or how that group of people, by doing what they did, how it served you. The strengths you developed as a result of it. Allow yourself to get curious. If that interaction with that person or that group of people hadn't happened, what would you have missed out on? If they hadn't put you down, if they hadn't put boundaries around you, if they hadn't made you feel a certain way, what would you have missed out on as a result? And take a nice deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Beautiful. Opening your eyes when you're ready, come to the side of your hand. Even though I blame, and then tell me who you blame. For, and tell me what you blame them for. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I hated the way they, and tell me what you hated about them. Because, and then tell me why you hated it. I choose to accept myself anyway. Even though I really don't want to admit it, but there are times where I do the same thing. And I choose to love and forgive myself. Beautiful. Eyebrow. I know I shouldn't blame them. Side eye. Or maybe I totally should. Under eye. But I do blame and resent them. Under nose. Because, and tell me why you blame and or resent them. Chin. Keep telling me why you blame or resent them. What did they do to you? How did they make you feel? Collarbone. What did they make you believe about yourself? Underarm. I really hated it. Top of head. It felt really unfair. Eyebrow. And I've been carrying this around without realizing. Side eye. I have been carrying this blame and resentment. Under eye, even though I know I shouldn't. On the nose. Maybe I've even felt ashamed for blaming and resenting. Chin. After all, I am an enlightened being. Collarbone. It should be love to all and total zen. Underarm. But a few key people really pissed me off. Top of head. Even though they probably didn't mean to. Eyebrow. But maybe at the time it felt like they meant to. Side eye. And maybe I am well within my rights to blame and resent them. Under eye. Part of me does not want to be zen about this. On the nose. Maybe what they did is inexcusable. Chin. They made me feel a certain way about myself. Collarbone. Maybe they even threatened my safety. Under eye. And I absolutely should blame and resent them. Wait, did I say under eye? I meant underarm. I don't know what I just said. That's half right. Top of head. I am within my rights to blame and resent them. Eyebrow. Because. And tell me again why you blame and or resent them. Side eye. How they made you feel. What they made you believe. Under eye. How that might hold you back now. The impact it's had on your life that is not good. On the nose. This is the time, this is the place to get this out. Chin. Oh, but the terrible thing is, Claire. Collarbone. I do the exact same thing. Underarm. And then tell me where you do the same or similar, even if it's in a really teeny tiny way. Top of head. I have caught myself doing something similar. Eyebrow. Maybe not in the moment. Side eye. But when I had to answer that question, under eye, it made me realize where I do something similar. On the nose. And that makes me feel. And then tell me how it makes you feel. Chin. Either emotionally or physically or both. Collarbone. And I'm open to forgiving myself. Underarm. Because something I hadn't thought about before, top of head, is how that person's actions served me. Eyebrow. If they hadn't done what they did, side eye, if they hadn't said what they said, under eye. If they hadn't made me feel a certain way, under nose, what would I have missed out on? Chin, what would I have not done that serves me now? Collarbone, how has it strengthened me? Underarm. And then tell me out loud all the ways that you have benefited, or all the ways it has served you. Top of head. Eyebrow. Keep telling me all the ways it has served you. Feel free to repeat or to make stuff up. Side eye. Under eye. I don't think I've really thought about it in that way before. Under nose. I've just blamed and resented. Chin, and quite without me meaning to. Collarbone. That put me in a really disempowered position. Underarm. Enough of that shit. Top of head. I choose to take a more empowered stance on this. And then just bring that person or that group of people to mind as we go through this next bit. Repeating after me. Eyebrow. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Side eye. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Under eye. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Under nose. Just notice any resistance to saying those words with that person or that group of people in mind. Just notice it. It's okay. It's allowed to be there if it is there. Chin. Now I'd like you to focus on yourself. And you're going to say the words to yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I let this affect me. I'm sorry I took it personally. I'm sorry I made it mean something. Collarbone. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I wasn't doing it consciously. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to let it hold me back. Underarm. Thank you. Thank you for enabling me to find strength from it. Thank you for how it's helped me become me. Thank you for how it served me. Top of head. I love you. I love you. I love how you've taken this and used it to serve you. I love how you've taken this and used it to serve others. I love you. I love you. Take a breath. How's everyone doing? Just stunned. Again, I have shares in Kleenex. Use as many as you need to. I'm just going to ask for a couple of shares around that. Who would like to go first? Jill.
That resentment was bigger than I thought. And I can see that I then resent them back because of it. And it's getting really fucking petty now about yeah, for the way I'm behaving is kind of making sense because I'm bloody resentful of them.
Yeah.
For some reasons.
Yeah, right. That's a great share. And I love the fact that it's come from you. Like, I don't think I'm really resentful or blameful of anyone. Surprise! But this we bury it so deep because we shouldn't. We shouldn't blame. We shouldn't resent. And so it gets buried, and then it festers, and it leaks out. So no one is wrong or bad or stupid for blaming or resenting. We all do it. This is about releasing it. So that's great share, Jill. Thank you. Let's have one more share. The longer you take to volunteer, the longer this call's going to go on for, by the way.
I'll drop a quick note. Well, I started, what popped up with resentfulness, the group it switched back and forth between a boss that I had and my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And what popped up with my mom was the typical saying, always, children should be seen but not heard. And that was something I've carried always. So stay in the background, don't show up. And yeah, that there is a resentment because why should I be quiet all the time?
Yeah. And how is that impacting your business?
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere.
We don't even think about it. Okay. Awesome share. Thank you. I'm hoping Jill's going to get more Kleenex. Okay. Okay. Which leads us into, there is probably more work for you to do here on this, by the way. So I'm going to absolutely recommend you keep exploring this, who I resent, and keep tapping on it. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I have been snipping out the sections of tapping, and they're in the email. So if you wanted to just do the tapping on its own without rewatching the whole thing, you can use the extraction excerpts, the bits of tapping that I've taken out. Okay. So let's now link the identity shift to your core values. So the first question may be the hardest one. And it's, what are your top 3 values? A value, the way I was taught it, is generally something you can't put in a wheelbarrow. Honesty, integrity, abundance, family. Well, you can put family in a wheelbarrow if you push them in, but relationships maybe. And be careful here. I want your actual current top values, not what you think they should be, the actual ones, and you will know what they are because they are the things you will always find time for. So again, this might be one of those questions where you do what you can now and then you come back to it. Okay. Question 2. Pardon me, excuse me. How does stepping into your new identity align with those values? How does it support them? Give a few more seconds for that. Don't worry, this will be part of your homework sheet. Right. Ooh. Question 3. How does avoiding the new identity conflict with your values? How does avoiding this identity conflict with your values? Okay, just a few more seconds on that. Ooh. It's going to be with me all day now. Everything I do. And then last question. List 3 ways embodying this identity benefits not just you, but others. 3 ways embodying this identity benefits not just you, but others. And then give me a thumbs up when you've done. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. Who would like to share first?
Right,
So-
I'm sharing first.
Go for it.
Thank you. Top 3 values: integrity, honesty, and humour. I'm surprised about the humour coming in, but who doesn't
Yeah, me
want to
too.
laugh, right? Take my life for a joke, isn't that humour enough? How does stepping into your new identity support or align with those values? I get to exercise these values with love and serve myself and others from the heart while making and maintaining real connections. How does avoiding this identity conflict with values? It doesn't allow openness, honesty, or transparency and keeps me away from the truth or authenticity.
Mhm.
And 3 ways embodying the last question.
Yep.
We can know each other properly from the start, transparent, so advantage for both, and truth about who we are and if we are compatible.
Yeah. Okay. How did it feel writing that?
I didn't realise, I knew how important it was to me, but I didn't realise how much transparency and openness were important to me, but I would rather know from the beginning and just, I don't want to play games trying to figure out who you are. Just show me who you are. If I can accept you as you are, we're good for life. And if not, we let each other go with love. I find it really hard to try and sort of figure out who people are when they're not being transparent from the start.
Okay. Lovely stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Out of curiosity, what does having that transparency give you that is even more important?
It helps me understand if that person or people will align with me and my values, because I feel like I've worked so hard to get to this point that I will not allow any type of silent mold to come and kill my party. So I need to know, I just need to know who you are. And like I said, with all due respect, you could be the most horrible person, but if you at least show me that from the beginning, if I like you, we're cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I won't judge you from other people's opinions either, because we all have such different outlooks, perspectives, experiences that give us the ability to judge people for if they're right for us and compatible.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
It did. Yeah. Out of curiosity.
There's more.
Yeah. So out of curiosity, and I'm going, this is to everyone. How has the resentment and or blame helped you form your values? You don't need to answer right now. I'm just gonna little Brucey bonus question. You're welcome. Has it informed your values or not? Is that another strength that you have got from that person or those people? They've helped you form these values that are now super important to you and help you live your life. And ultimately serve others. Who else would like to share and possibly get picked on? Go on, Juliana.
I put 4 values. So I put peace,
Such an
excellence.
overachiever.
Well, third one is excellent. No, it's excellent. So peace, excellence, honesty, and freedom.
Yeah. Okay.
How to step in the new identity, support them. I just put examples for each one of them. So the excellence, obviously, like the status, the clients, the money, the freedom would be the routine, the management of time by myself. The peace is feeling confident and knowing my worth, and the honesty is being able to be myself and share who I am. And avoiding this, how does it conflict? Because I don't feel I have freedom because I'm constantly chasing, and I don't have peace because something is always missing.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
And the 3 ways to embody this that will benefit. I'll be calmer, and that's just better for everybody, really. I'll have more time to give to others, and I will be a fantastic therapist, which means I can help others achieve their best.
Yeah, awesome.
And I know I can see from the excellence that is something that probably came from the stuff that I used to blend, because that's the push.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. So I'm going to invite you all to write down and complete this sentence. Now that I have released resentment, I fully claim my new identity. I am the kind of person who, and that's the bit you're going to fill in, and then just after that is because it aligns with my values of. So I'm the kind of person who XYZ because it aligns with my values of. So now that I have released resentment, I fully claim my new identity. I am the kind of person who XYZ because it aligns in my values of XYZ. Give me a thumbs up when you're done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You done, Soph? Cool. Thank you. When you read that back to yourself, how do you feel? Unmute yourself. Tell me. Does it feel good? Does it feel far-fetched? Is there resistance? Is there excitement? Does it make your ass tighten?
I wouldn't have put it that way. Oh, sorry, go on, Juliana. Thank you. I'll be quick. Some of it feels true, some of it doesn't, but I want a part of it to feel true, so I'm very comfortable leaving it there.
Okay. Could you create a bridge statement?
Oh, yeah, of course. We love those.
Awesome. Juliana?
It feels possible, but it's still be in the future.
Okay. Could you create a bridge statement that brings it into the present?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone just take a breath. Coming up to your eyebrow. Tell me out loud your statement. Side eye. Keep telling me your statement. Under eye. Then tell me how you feel about that statement. Under nose. If there's a part of you that can't quite believe it or is resisting it, out loud, acknowledge that part. Hello. I feel you. I see you. I hear you. Chim. Give me your statement again. Collarbone. Notice how you feel as you say it. Underarm. What might be a downside of you believing this statement? Tell me out loud. Top of head. Tell me out loud how being this statement would align with your values. Eyebrow. Keep telling me. Side eye. And just notice if there is any internal voice going, yeah, but what if those aren't my real values? There might not be, but if there is one, just notice it. Just acknowledge it. Under eye. Notice any inner voice that is telling you that that is going to be hard, or it's going to take effort, or that you might lose something or someone by allowing yourself this new identity that aligns with your values. On the nose. And then tell me out loud how avoiding stepping into this identity conflicts with your values. Chin. And if you're not too sure, that's okay. Just open that line of inquiry. I'm open to understanding how this might conflict with my values. Collarbone. And then give me your statement again. Now that I have released resentment, I fully claim my new identity. I am the kind of person who XYZ, because it aligns with my values of ABC. Underarm. Repeat again. out loud that statement. Just noticing any resistance that comes up as you do it. Top of head. One more time. Give me that statement, noticing any resistance to it. And when you're done, take a breath. How is everyone doing? Any questions, concerns, or shares?
I'm finding this really quite hard because I won't use the word struggling. I'm questioning my values and I'm questioning maybe the consequences or that my statement. Yeah, there's part of me that really doesn't want to do this, the whole exercise, or
That's okay.
Or that I feel like I'm really in the wrong person at the moment. Yeah, it's not feeling comfortable.
Good. So that is what you can do a little bit of tapping on, even though this doesn't feel comfortable and I don't know if I'm giving the right responses. Part of me is worried of the consequences of me claiming this. Okay, because this is big. The further into this we get, the less room you have to wiggle out of stepping into your new identity.
I think when the first part of that statement was, now that I have released resentment, because I don't know if I have released resentment.
That's okay.
So that already put me onto like, ain't gonna work.
Okay. So that's fine. So maybe tweak that to suit you. Now that I am releasing resentment.
Yeah.
I mean, I am being, with the tapping words, I am being deliberately antagonistic with all this. I want it to trigger you. You're welcome. Yeah. I want you to get underneath it. I want you to see where it's stopping you or where it's blocking you. I want you to see where part of you is really scared. So you can throw your arms around it and give it a huge hug. And this is something you can come back to, and you will come back to in the homework. I know, so correct response. Let me share my screen. I actually knew where to go to share it this time. Isn't that wonderful? Personal growth right there. Can everyone see my screen? Cool. So remembering that repetition is our friend, I would like you to once again catch and replace resentment. Who have you blamed? What have you resented or blamed them for? Where do you do something similar? Now, you'll see here, I've put same as previous question, same number of previous question. However many things you write down here, or what you have resented or blamed them for, I want you to find the same number of things for here. So if you find 11 things that you blame or resent them for, find 11 times where you do something similar. We're looking for balance here. So if you find 12 time things where you do something similar, find an extra one up here. These need to balance. Does that make sense? And then how did this experience actually serve you? What strengths did you develop? What was something you would have missed out on if it hadn't happened? Okay. Then what are your top 3 core values? If you are still struggling on how to find your core values, your top values, make a list of people you admire. Then make a list of why you admire them. What traits, behaviors do you admire? Which traits or behaviors come out the most? That's going to give you an insight into your top values, which feel the strongest. So, for instance, if you so I did this years ago. So people are, I think I put Helen Mirren, Peter Crone, Jodie Shield, so on and so forth. And then I wrote next to each one why I admired them. You know, strong, empowered, whatever it might be. Funny. And then I picked out the ones that repeated the most or the ones that felt strongest. You can also, and I did this again years ago, set a timer for 5 minutes and just keep writing what your values might be. What do you repeat the most? What do you surround yourself with? What will you always find time or make time for? What is important to you? These will all show you your top values. Does that all make sense? So how does embodying your new in inverted commas, identity align with those values? And you're welcome at least 50 ways. Repetition is our friend. Searching for stuff. I want you to, this is literally going to create new neural pathways. You're going to make new links that are going to support the importance of your new identity. At least 50 ways. It's supposed to be a little bit tricky. It may be something you put down and come back to. This is the same theory as finding things to be grateful for. You're sending your brain off to search. The more it searches, the more it's going to find, the stronger those neural connections are going to be. Science, people, science. And how does avoiding this identity conflict with those values? So again, at least 50. If you came up with 55 for the previous question, come up with 55 for this question. Balance. And then list 10 ways embodying this identity benefits others. Everyone's fucked off. Then there is a tapping. Mercifully short this time because you've got to list 50 ways. But again, do this 6 times throughout the day. If you need to tweak anything, tweak it. And at the end of each tap, you're going to take a deep breath, you're going to pop your hand on your heart, and you're going to say this affirmation. Again, if you want to tweak this so it sits better with you, tweak it, yeah? And then what felt different after all that? What is the biggest shift you're now seeing? and then share that in the group. Any questions about that? Yeah, I appreciate this is going to take some effort. This is why most people never do it. If there is resistance to doing this, acknowledge it. It's going to take some energy. Maybe part of you is like, don't know if I have all that energy. But what is the consequence of not doing it? Awesome. Any questions? Any swear words you want to shout at me? Is everyone good? Give me a thumbs up. If you are. If you're not, give me a thumbs down. Lovely stuff. So let us finish. I'm going to do the rounds. I'm looking for one biggest insight. Who shall I pick on first? I'm going to wave my finger and just point at someone. Bridget!
Okay. I'm overwhelmed with the homework, but okay, I'll manage. My takeaway is, yes, that I'm taking along yesterday into this, that I'm starting to feel much calmer.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. The overwhelm around the homework, just take a breath. Yeah. You don't have to do it all in one sitting.
But in 24 hours.
Yeah. But again, this is all uses all stuff you can come back to if you need to. Do the push now, but don't worry. Like, oh, God, am I getting it right? Is it exactly the right thing that I should, Don't worry about that. This is just the first big push for it. If you need to come back to it, if you want to come back to it, you can do. But I'm making you do it in 24 hours because otherwise stuff like this tends not to be done. It's just the way we roll. Thank you, Bridget. Juliana.
I think for me was when we were tapping and it felt like whatever somebody said to me was like they beat me with a stick. But then I picked the stick and continued beating myself with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like they said something once and one time and then like they probably don't remember, it wasn't important, but I just kept going with it.
Yeah. Thank you. Great share. So
I chose to actually forgive my parents, my dad especially, for a lot of things a few years ago when I became a mum. It took a few years, but when I found out he was ill, I reached out to him and there was a lot of forgiveness already there. I'm really surprised I didn't get emotional when nothing came up, so it just makes me really proud of the work that I've done previously on this, and it shows that it did stick, and it was amazing to acknowledge the ways in which it did help me elevate.
yeah, amazing.
Part of the process that I missed out when I did this a while back.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jill.
I can see ways that I resent blame and how I can reflect that resentment back in actions that are uncomfortable. Yeah, that's just my big thing at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So again, remember, this isn't about blaming or shaming yourself. This is just you getting clear. I'm sensing doubt, Jill. Your face is like an open book. if there is a temptation to blame or shame yourself for this, hand on heart center, send yourself some love. Those 4 sentences, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Beautiful. So lovely peeps, same time, same place tomorrow. Any questions in the meantime, give me a shout. Otherwise, have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for working hard in this one. Thank you for working hard for the rest of today for this one. And I'm looking forward to you some stuff. Bye. All right, loves.
Bye.
Have a good one. Toodles.